So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mike.
Okay, so good morning. I'm Mike Murphy, and I'm going to take you through a very quick demonstration. And, as Kathy's been pointing out, showing you some of the high level, obviously those who are familiar with Guardium understand that Guardium, the really value of Guardium is that it's heterogeneous. So whether I've got Oracle or DB2 or Hadoop, I can monitor all of that activity with a very similar type policy across all my enterprise. So, I mean, that's extremely valuable. But at the end of the day, it's a reporting tool, so we're trying to find the information that's important to us, to our organization, and be able to get at that quickly so that we can react in case someone's performing some, suspicious or malicious activity. We can prevent it or find a way to take action before they're able to do any damage. So, like I said, I'm going to take you through a very quick demonstration specific to a Hadoop platform. Of course, we support multiple Hadoop platforms, but in this case, what I'll talk through is our integration with Big Insights. So in my environment, for those who aren't familiar with Guardium, we've got in our architecture basically an agent that's installed on the platform that we're monitoring. So in this case, we've got our Guardium agent that's installed on the Big Insights server. And then we've got our appliance, which is the platform upon which we run all of our GUI application and where all the audit data is stored. So in this case now, I've got the Guardium GUI launched, and we're looking at some tabular reports. And I'm going to take you through, run through some Hive commands, some HDFS commands. I'm going to run through a MapReduce job. I'm going to do a few exercises, and then we'll see how those get reflected by Guardium's agent capturing all that activity and allowing us to easily report upon it. The view that we're looking at here, we've got several reports, and I'm going to take you through each of those reports in a few moments. But it's important to note that Guardium is really in the forefront in terms of Hadoop or big data platforms. We've been developing solutions to monitor and report on all this activity for the last couple of years, and we've broadened our portfolio, as Kathy's told you, with a number of different flavors of Hadoop. And at the same time, Hadoop's changing so frequently, it requires us to do a lot of extra work. But we've got a great deal of capability today, and we're going to show you how that works. So now I'm going to go over to the Big Insights server. So right now I'm logged in as the BI admin user on the Big Insights server, and I'm going to just run through a demo script. And so I'll just kind of review with you what the script is performing. And so the script is just going to run through some specific commands, and I use a little read command here to kind of pause. So I can go through and run a list directory. I'll pause, I'll take a look at the reports, and we'll show you what those look like in Guardium. And then I'll go and do some additional Hadoop commands, some make directories, and some remove directories. Then I'm going to run a MapReduce job. I'm actually going to run it. I have the option, of course, of running it from the command line, or I can run it from the Big Insights console. So I'm going to log into the Big Insights GUI, and I'm going to run the MapReduce job from there. And then I'm going to finish up running some Hive commands and create some tables, drop some tables. And then there's also parts in here for big sheets, but we won't spend any time on that. So without further ado, I'm going to get started. So first I'm going to execute some simple HDFS commands. And so then once we'll see some of the output that comes from the command line. And then I'm going to just take you to the Guardium reports, and I'm going to show you what we see. So in this case, what's happened within the Hadoop command language would see like a list status. And so if I look at Hadoop objects, I'll see that we did a list status. We got file info on the slash directory, okay? And so that corresponds with my script, which was basically doing a Hadoop minus FSLS slash. So the capability in the Guardium is that it will capture all of that activity and give us enough information to be able to understand who was performing the operation. In this case, we got the HDFS user as BI admin. We have the command that they performed, and then we have the object that they performed the command against. Now, these reports that I'm showing you are customizable. So in this case, I'm trying to make it really simple, so I'm just giving you 3 columns. But if you wanted to get more information, you could have, 5 columns, 10 columns, 20 columns, however many columns you need in order to get the information that's important to you. It's also important to understand that a lot of this information can be distinct or it can be combined. So I could have one report looking at the same activity that's only 10 rows because it's combining some of the information. And I can have another example, like in this case, that I've got a report that's got 258 lines in it. So we'll continue on with the demonstration. So now I'm going to go and create some directories. And then it asks me if I want to run the job, the HDFS job from the GUI, or I'm sorry, the MapReduce job from the HDFS system or from the GUI. I'm just going to say GUI. It's going to tell me to go deploy and run the MapReduce job. And so let's take a look again at some of the information that's been going on here. So we see that there's been some additional, let's see, I'm just going to make my, look at more than 20 rows. We'll look at 50. So here we can see that there's been 29 records of operations that have been performed, and in this case we did a list status on some directories. We did a make directory on the when we were making some directories, and we did some remove directories. So there's been a number of operations that we've been able to capture. And so then at this point, I'm going to also go over to the Big Insights console. And here I've got, under the Applications tab, I've got an application, word count. I'm going to go in and I'm going to navigate to the path where the word count app is set up for me. So it's going to be in the BI admin's home directory, and I've got an input directory set up. And then I'll just do the same and put the results in an output directory. Okay, so then at this point, I'm just going to run it. And last time it took about 37 seconds, so it should take somewhere around 30 seconds. And then we'll be able to take a look at what the output within Guardium is for the MapReduce job. So for those who aren't familiar with Hadoop, you can begin to appreciate that there's a lot of different things that are unique from a standard traditional SQL environment. And so there's a lot of capability that we've added to be able to monitor all of these different operations and to provide them in a way that is easily digestible and viewable. And so then we can come back to the GUI, and we can take a look at our insights, our Big Insights MapReduce job. So here we're able to give you the timestamp, the server type, the client IP, the server IP, all the details about in this case, the word count, the HDFS user, BI admin, and then the source program. So, the client basically who's issuing the MapReduce job. Along the way, there's often exceptions, and whether it's SQL or in this case, Hadoop, those exceptions are always of concern. So you can bring up a big data exceptions report Here we're just looking at different database error texts. So we've got some examples, 29 examples of not serving region exception. We've got a couple of severe errors. And most importantly, when we talk about sensitive information, it's, we want to understand who's got access to sensitive information, or in some cases, who's viewed in sensitive information. So we've got people who've modified data, in this case, Hadoop data that's been added. So we're looking at, we're keying on the command, the add block command, or we can look at reporting that shows us people who are reviewing potentially sensitive information. So in this case, the information viewed, so we're looking at a git block command. All of these reports have filters, so if you had a particular type of sensitive information that you were primarily interested in, you could easily put that on the filter and find it rather quickly. Now the last part, I'm just going to bring up the Hive command. So here I'm going to do a create table. And then we can go back and take a look at in this case, we just did a create and then populated some of these federal CSV files, and here we can see the create command that was executed. So we can see all of the different operations that were performed. So in this case, if we take a look at the script, I did at the bottom, I did a create table, word list. So if I wanted to look at the object word list, we see there that I dropped it, and I got some information on it, and I made a directory on it. So that is pretty much the quick demonstration of all the capabilities of Guardium. So you can see that there is a lot of information that comes out whenever we execute any of the Hadoop commands, but Guardium's able to capture all of it and report on it for you easily, and along with all of the other traditional SQL database types that you might be monitoring in your environment.